Sean says part 1, pass rushers blitzed Jimmy untouched. Kyle needs to let Jimmy Garoppolo reset his protection pre-snap. Chiefs know he can't, and they teed off on him.
The Chiefs have problems coming off the edge, but you didn't notice it in this game because they were bringing pressure from all different directions. The big question is, what do you do going into the next game? They've run it a lot at the Rams. This last game, they threw it a lot at them. Personally, I would like to see them spread out teams. They've got the weapons now. Spread them out, use tempo, put more pressure on opposing defenses, especially without Juszczyk, with the weapons you have by spreading them out, playing fast, and utilizing the short passing game, and then mix in the run off of the pass.
Fortunately for the Niners, the Rams are one of the few teams in the league that has a worse offense than they do. So this is a good matchup for the 49ers. The Rams cannot score. I think they're at 17-something per game. Part 2, and when Jimmy is blitzed, he panics, never climbs the pocket, and throws off his back foot every single time. Many interceptions. That's true. He really doesn't climb the pocket.
He did it once yesterday, and he climbed right into a sack. Do you see that?
That was amazing. He went for it, and he got smacked. Gizmo says, we were proud of D-line and secondary, but Chiefs showed good O-line beats that. Mahomes untouched or torched. Kyle failed at building the O-line. He really did fail the building of the O-line. And if he ever gets replaced, I would think one of the first things his replacement would do is fix that O-line. The thing about when you add to the O-line, no one calls you a genius. When you get weapons, people say you're a genius. Emmanuel Acho, unstoppable offense. 23 points.
Yeah. My biggest issue yesterday is the 423 passing yards that they gave up. 423 passing yards. And not only that, there was never how many hands did the 49ers get on the football the entire day? It was like Mahomes had separation to his guys. He had a clean uniform when he stepped out on the field. He had a clean uniform when he left the field. They decided they were going to get it done with 4 up front, but guess what? They didn't get it done with 4 up front, but they didn't adjust.
The offense was terrible. The defense was terrible. Special teams was terrible.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Who was the intended receiver on the pick
interception?
From interception?
Kittle.
That was Kittle?
That's what Jimmy said. Kittle was behind Ray. He came up way short. That's what Jimmy said. Yeah.
Well, Ray didn't even make a play on the ball.
Yeah.
And that to me is embarrassing. I mean, you either first of all, the ball, you were standing between the defender and the football. The defender went over the top and made the play. You didn't leave your feet. I don't think he ever left the ground. I mean, come on. You have to be more competitive at the catch point than what Ray was. Now, was it a horrendous floated duck by Garoppolo in the red zone? Yeah. But so what? When the ball's in the air, you're a receiver first, but you're a DB second. And he was a receiver first and a viewer. He was a fan second. He was watching.
Why is he on the field? Why is he on the field at the 5-yard line? He's 5'9". Can you get Juwan Jennings on the field or literally Ross Dwelley? Come on, man. What is this usage of personnel? How is he even in the vicinity? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ray?
To me, yeah. I mean, I didn't love. To me, I was so taken back by his lack of effort on the ball that it wasn't even factoring in the personnel grouping.
I mean, he caught the touchdown pass earlier. Like, why get him off the field?
When he went low for it, scooped it off the turf. But
I don't want to talk about Ray anymore. Kyle, you have 5 really good weapons on offense. Ray shouldn't be on the field. What are you doing? Juwan is one of the playmakers, not Ray. The whole Ray experiment has not been good at all. I don't want to talk about him anymore. I'm upset about Ray. You're one Ray from now on until you make a play. Then you can be double Ray from now on. You're single Ray. Sean says part 3 says crosses slant screens have been downloaded. Teams collapse inside the hatches. It ain't Kyle. It's Jimmy G's limitations. It holds back the playbook. I am so sick of people trying to say if it's Kyle or Jimmy. Man, it's both of them. It is so both of them. I hate that game. It's Kyle. It's Jimmy. It's both of them.
I mean, the offense is out of rhythm. Now, is that on the quarterback? Is it on the play caller? Is it on the line? Is it on the mistakes? Is it on the weapons? I mean, we can sit there and on different plays, there's different answers. Ultimately, they're all responsible.
All I know is that in New York, Brian Daboll has Daniel Jones playing really well with no weapons, other than Saquon Barkley, essentially. Here, you got Jimmy Garoppolo, who I think before the season most people would say is better than Daniel Jones, really struggling with the best weapons in the league. Coaching matters. No team is doing less with more than the 49ers this season. They could always turn it around.
I'll give you my biggest complaint with the 49ers. The total lack of use of tempo to your advantage.
Yeah. They were going slow until 5 minutes left in that game. Seriously,
they were going so slow that I just started talking S in the press box.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just sitting there going, so the game plan here is just to get close.
Right.
Because this pace is a loser pace.
Right. And loser pace, and then you'll kick a field goal, right? Yeah.
And then you've got no rhythm on offense. Why would you not try a hurry up at some point to try to get some rhythm going on offense?
Right.
Instead, you see other teams use rhythm or use pace to get into an offensive rhythm. Arthur Smith can do it. I mean, the 49ers, the lack of use of pace, it's like speed it up when you're behind. That's an obvious, but they don't. That's like non-competitive. That's the part that makes you go, what's going on here with the leadership when you see they're not going fast and they're losing by multiple scores.
You know what's so funny?
I'm always thinking, what are the players thinking right now as they're huddling up and the clock's ticking and the clock's ticking? What are we doing here, guys? What are we doing?
You know, it's really funny. So he he replaced Chip Kelly, who was the opposite, right? He did all this fast tempo, and he had no talent on offense, and it wasn't really helping him. And he got fired. Really, it seems like Kyle Shanahan and Chip Kelly are really similar, other than the pace at which they do their offense. Because Chip Kelly, no adjustments. Terrible after the opening script, no second half offense. Yeah, that's pretty much Kyle Shanahan too, except Chip Kelly had the excuse of having no talent on that team. Kyle Shanahan has no excuses. And I wonder if Chip Kelly had gotten a second chance and they had never brought in Kyle Shanahan and Chip Kelly had been here and gotten all the third and fourth chances that Kyle had, would he be over 500 right now? I don't know. I mean, is Kyle even better than Chip Kelly is my question. I don't even know.
I mean, he's held in much, much higher regard by NFL people. There's no doubt. But, I mean, you're only as good as what you've done recently. You know, the old saying in radio, you're only as good as your last show. In football, you're only as good as your last game. You're as good as the team that you had on the field yesterday. And what that shows me is it was non-competitive. Yesterday was a very one-sided football game.
The last guy said, Larry, you are the man. You are the man. CT Law has a question for me. If you were the coach yesterday, at what point would you declare a problem and switch the game plan? I would have done it after the first drive when KC marched down with ease. That was the second drive. There was an interception on the first.
The defense had no resistance at all. No. So I get it. I do understand. Believe me, I saw all the numbers. You see all the numbers. Yeah. We know. Patrick Mahomes is one of the very best quarterbacks in the history of football. If you define looks ahead of time, if you blitz him and he can see where it's coming from, he can absolutely crush you. But what's the alternative to sit there, rush for, not get it done, sit in a soft zone, and have him pick you apart like a Thanksgiving turkey? I mean, come on, man.
Let me tell you one thing I didn't like too. I didn't like DeMeco Ryans putting Jimmy Ward in the slot. Like, Jimmy Ward is not necessarily a great nickelback. He is the best at defending tight ends. But you put him on a slot receiver, that's a different athlete. I mean, I thought Juju got the best of him a lot of times, and I didn't think Jimmy Ward had a great game. That's not his position. He's a safety, and he should be covering Travis Kelce. And I think they had the wrong matchup on Kelce a lot. Not that Jimmy Ward would have shut him down, because Kelsey's great, but I didn't like that at all.
They're thin on the corner. See, that they know they're thin on the corner. They lost Mosley. Heck, we saw him up in the press box. Obviously that was a huge loss. And now they had Ward Charvarius running around at less than 100%. So they had this incredible corner tandem. Now they don't. Then Lenore went down, and they're forced to lean on the Ambry Thomases of the world. And in the weeks ahead, it's going to be Dante Johnson. They don't have enough corners with the injuries that they have at corner. And to me, that's the area that I'm looking to pick somebody up this week is corner, because you can't fake corner. You can't just say, I will just throw a guy out there. No, you can't. And you can't play Jimmy Ward at corner anymore. Why? Because he's in like his 9th year. He was a corner coming out of Northern Illinois, but that was a long time ago. And he can play corner in a pinch. But to ask him to play multiple plays at corner, nope, that's not his game.
And it's like, you're not going to put him back there because you have Tashawn Gibson. Like, yeah, he's okay, but like, isn't Jimmy Ward your captain? I mean, isn't Jimmy Ward better than Tashawn? Like, that should be his starting spot. Anyway, I got a question.
And Tayshawn was nowhere near anybody all day. I mean, he was literally 3-4 feet away from making a play. I never saw him. Did Gibson touch the football yesterday? I would say no.
I think, well, he tipped the pass that got intercepted.
So he had one touch.
To his credit, he did. But still, Jimmy Ward's a better player than him. You can't change Jimmy Ward's position because Deshaun Gibson's had like a good month and a half. Come on. All right, but I got a question.
They're trying to get away with the fact that they're thin on the corner. But unfortunately, Jimmy's not a corner anymore.
No, he's not. He's a safe. He's never been a corner. Never been a corner. He's a safety.